Hey everyone, I'm Travis, and in this video you're going to see me shave drip rails and show you how I did it. Enjoy. Here is our cab. Once we got it unloaded off the trailer here, it was time to get to work. I did a lot of pressure washing and I attempted some wet sand blasting and stuff, but that's another case for another day. This cab came from Oregon, actually. I went down and picked it up from a guy, traded him a case of beer for it, so happy hot rodding, if you know what I mean. But he was happy to let it land at a good home, let's say. It sat out in a field in like eastern Oregon for like 15 years or something. I don't know exactly the story on it, but I imagine some kids shot BB guns at it and some birds built some nests in it and things like that. But nonetheless, we're going to make a hot rod out of it. We're going to do some surgery on the thing. So these trucks here are pretty awesome as far as the vertical drip rail goes. It's just spot welded in, so you can kind of see the divots on the side there where the spot welds are. It is really as simple as drilling those spot welds and pulling them off. Where it kind of transitions and mends with the top is a bit different, but let's start with the positives here. It has a nice factory rolled edge on the bottom, which we'll show in just a second here. But it is as simple as drilling those spot welds out and then chiseling it off. The transitions, as I said, and we're going to go really deep into this and show you, but that's kind of where you got to pay attention and see some stuff. But if you get yourself a good spot weld saw or spot weld drill or whatever, get them on Amazon. I found mine for like pretty cheap, 40 bucks or something. I don't know, 30 bucks maybe, I don't know. It's like a little mini hole saw. It's like a 3/8 hole saw almost, and it works really good for saving the base metal. As you can see here, where it doesn't go through, it doesn't penetrate the base metal. It just kind of penetrates the piece you're trying to take off, basically. And you're left with that. So you're left with a nice kind of rolled edge that's factory. It looks clean. Should match up with the door nicely. And then this, we're going to move up into the top side. So look at the gap in the top between where the actual drip rail is and the truck body, or the the inside sill plate, or where your door sits. You can kind of see the gap there. That is kind of the important part that we're going to kind of refer to. I threw some tacks in there to hold the structure as we take away the drip rail to kind of hold it all in place, but we're going to explain that a little bit more right here. Okay, so the way this works is there's three major pieces to this roof or drip rail, or whatever you want to call it. There's our top roof line, which is the important one. That's why you kind of go in stages so you don't pop that thing off. And then we have our actual drip rail that loops around and connects to our roof line. That's kind of an important piece as well. I guess they're all important, but and then there's kind of our door piece, or what becomes our door, kind of our inside sill, let's say. So when we do this, obviously shaving the drip rail is something along those lines. That is styling and profiling, as they say. Before we went and did that and cut that off, we saw, as you saw in the other video there, or maybe you're going to see, I don't know where it's going to be in the video yet, but we put a little tack right there. Now that was to hold our inner sill piece to our original outer sill piece, or our original drip rail piece, so it has more structure and things like that, because as soon as you take away all these layers of spot welds and structure, you need to replace it with something and put a tack in there. So we did that. So as you do that, then you go to shave this down, make it all clean, make it all good. The challenge and the problem with that is right through here is where a lot of water, corrosion, rust kind of forms or comes together, right? So that's a bit of a challenge there. But once that's all together, it's all good. The major problem with this, or the major challenge with this, is that you kind of get one shot. If you mess it up, you kind of mess up your roof line. And that's not really a goal of mine. So this is a bit of an expanded view and a bit of a, expanded or enlarged, or whatever the word is that I can't think of right now. That is exaggerated, that's it. It's a bit of an exaggerated view. So it's a bit of a visual aid though. So in case you're a visual learner, that's that. But now I'm saying too much, back to the video. Now that guy's done yapping, here's kind of a look at what the real life version looks like. There's our two pieces, the top roof line and the inner structure piece, the inner part. So that's the part where we're going to weld it, kind of where our pointer finger is. Don't mind my Luke Skywalker rubber glove there. That's got a gnarly cut on my hand previously to it. But that's where you run your welds, and that's what gets connected. So that's where it can get a little tricky with the rust and the thin metal. I actually ended up using silicone bronze filler rod, which really made it a lot better. I recommend kind of doing that. I'm not exactly sold on the structure side of it, but it was essentially brazed back together instead of welded. I did do a lot of tacks along the way, but I found that the silicone bronze kind of fit better and flowed better as far as the roof line went. And then I laid out the top, or the front, sorry. Each one of those lines represents the tack, or where a tack is, and those tacks are strategically placed with our copper plate there. That copper plate acts as a heat sink as I go along. I found the heat sink really worked well, excuse me, for the places that were kind of troublesome with rust and corrosion and stuff, but if it was lined up good, it was okay to use it without. But this shows you here the 3 stages of it. So on the left, we have kind of where it's cut, like where I take my angle grinder to with my cutoff wheel, and then the middle is kind of where I grind it down to before I welded it, and then on the right is obviously the weld. So you can kind of see the 3-step process of how it got cut and then ground and then welded. Definitely want to do this in steps and stages, as I mentioned before. Very, very critical, because you can warp this stuff, and it can kind of contract on you and change. I did about every 4 inches ish. You could probably get about 6, depending on your thing there. Results may vary, batteries not included kind of thing. But once you kind of get your process down, it's just repetition. Just go slow and kind of do the same process over and over and over again. And people that struggle with attention deficit disorder or whatever might have problems with that, but after a little filing, you get a pretty cool truck out of it. So this we're kind of moving along quickly here, but who wants to look at me welding all day? But if you take your time and you're kind of aware of the rust and the corrosion and the right ways to do it and the roof lines, and you kind of want to leave as much material on the truck as possible. That's kind of a big piece of advice I would have. Is just don't mess with the truck too much. Leave as much as you can on the truck and kind of work with it. Don't take away any more material than you have to. And then just be nice with your welds and don't overheat them, and kind of make it work. My work isn't perfect. I have to admit I'm gonna need some body filler, a little bit like that. I'm not perfect. I'm no Cole Foster or nothing like that, but you may get a kick out of that. But anyways, I think it turned out really good. I'm super happy with the thing, and I really like the shaved drip rail look. I'm kind of that clean and simple style, and I think it's gonna set it apart and make it look cool, and I don't turn it into my truck, right? So hopefully this helps somebody. Hopefully this is cool. Hope you like it. See you at the next video. Take care.